inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Content, hold your breath and feel the tension. Devils hide behind redemption. Honesty is a one-way gate to hell. I wanna taste consumption. Be faster to waste oxygen. Hear the children sing aloud. It's music till the wick burns out. Be carefree lately, yeah. Just picking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Counting like the 4-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Steph. How are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I wanted to make sure that my remote just fell. I wanted to make sure that I said two thank yous. I wanted to make sure I said thank you to Raymond. I didn't notice the Ko-Fi until after stream yesterday. So I felt like an asshole all day. So thank you very much. And thank you, Punk. Good morning. Just came to say hey to everyone. I'm not sticking around to watch the stream because it's not interested in the subject. That's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah. But thank you for stopping by and saying hi. And good morning to everyone. We have a lot to talk about today. And our book this week is Britney Spears, The Woman in Me. And I kind of saved the other subject. So this has been going around about, are we allowed to have sexy video game characters? And I'm like, I could tackle this subject alone, or Misery Loves Company. I could totally wait for Steph.
I love it. I'm here for it.
You know, like, I feel the only reason I waited is, to be honest, like, this conversation comes up like once a year, right? Yeah. Like, it's something that we've seen happen so many times. We saw it when The Last of Us 2 came out and everybody's like, ooh, Abby's ugly. We're not allowed to have sexy characters. Now we're seeing it with Stellar Blade. Like, we're not allowed to have sexy characters.
I
Okay.
mean, there was a time people were just happy with like Pong and that Sasquatch game with like stick figures.
Right. And like the one, it also came up a little bit when, so you're more familiar with the Fable franchise, right?
Yeah,
And that character was like kind of goofy, homely looking, and I guess that's kind of their brand, you said?
it is. It
So
is. Look at any of their people that you can pick. They're not. No, they're warriors and they're scarred and they're not fucking beauty queens.
I mean, I'm not familiar enough, but once I heard it explained to me, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like this is such a normal subject. I feel like comes up so often. I'm like, we're gonna get a new take. We're gonna wait for stuff because I feel like I've said the same thing so many times in a row that people already know my stance on it. So let's talk a little bit about Britney first.
Yes.
We
Let's
have,
let's have you start that off.
oh my gosh. So, okay. I will say, compare, and it's not fair to do, but comparing it to Jeanette's book, Jeanette is a born writer. And I
Hell
can't, I went from that to Britney. So I was like, this is a little disjointed. I felt like some of what Britney was doing here, wasn't like linear. Like my brain, my OCD brain goes to wanting, when she was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in that kind of fashion. And you can't expect that from this book. But it's also kind of its charm by the end.
yeah, it is. It really is because so I actually listened to it. I read
Yeah,
it
same.
and then I listened to it. So I understand more where you're coming from now because when I read it, reading it in my voice and what I was like hearing, it just feels different than when you're doing it on Audible or something like that. It's and then they go back and forth because Brittany does read a few parts of the book, and I was like, I like it and I don't at the same time. But to me, her book felt cohesive in once you get through it. If
Right.
you get bored with it, that's one thing. But once you get through it, you're like, oh, everything starts to really make sense.
And I felt like by the end it did. And I thought there was some really good parts in it. I I'll show you guys the book we're talking about in case you're not sure. This was probably released
Early, was it this year or late last year? I should have looked that up.
I didn't even think about it. And I grew up like, no, what is this? The best of what's queer. Okay. I just there we go. There we go. I just want your picture. I'm stealing your picture. It's pretty. Um, but I grew up with Britney Spears. So I felt like I was going to have more of a connection to this one, and I didn't as compared to the other one, which is wild to me. But are you still there?
I'm still there. I'm looking up when it came out.
I was. I'm going to be an asshole real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you feel like some of it was framed in a narrative to only make Britney look good? Like we're not getting all sides of the story here.
In regards to,
Like they put her in rehab, like I swear, like 5 times, and then she acted like she never had any issue.
I can see that. I did write something like that down, like that. Yeah, she was, but also she was, being gaslit into making. I understand. We did see from the media one point. We got that shoved down our throat so much.
Oh, for sure.
So that I do expect her giving us her and it's not outside the realm of what we read with Jeanette of controlling, of her father controlling her and her mother, you know, doing the same thing, and where she had escapes, and home life was terrible, you know, and it does start out with a little young Britney, and it goes from there, and it's like we kind of already knew that those were things we didn't really. It's not that we. It's not that she delved into details that like Jeanette did, and I will be comparing a little bit just because.
Yeah, and I think it's normal to kind of compare, especially when that does not look good. I tried to make it Britney Spears in the background. It's just not working out. You guys know who we mean. We're good. I thought it would look cute. No, it just didn't work out. And I also feel like Jeanette did such a good job of being a bit more objective, in the sense that she was telling us how she felt about her mother, but she was also giving us an idea of what was going on in the surrounding area, where Britney was a little bit more aloof. Mm-hmm. And she was like, the worst I ever did was Adderall. I'm like, honey, you don't go to rehab just for taking a couple Adderall on the weekend. Something more had to happen. And I felt like we didn't get that story.
Yeah. And then she does point out, you know, her family members, her female family members, also being controlled and put on lithium and things like that.
Yes.
So it's like, it is a lot of, I think she has the right to do it in a sense, but it is a lot of, you know, oh, it wasn't me.
Have you ever listened? Because I know towards the end of her book, she talks about her sister and that she wrote her own book while Britney was in rehab one of the times, and was kind of going about and like going on promo when she was in rehab and she really needed her. Have you ever listened or know what that book's about?
No, I'm definitely one of those people that will not. When somebody wants attention, I don't give it to them.
Yes.
Especially Jamie Lynn Spears. Especially her. I do. I feel like as a sister, I would have fought for my sister. It makes me really sad. I would have fucking fought for my sister. I would have done anything to get her out of that. But again, they were making gazillions off of her.
Like just a ridiculous amount, and they just constantly used her. And it's so you only really get to the conservatorship towards like maybe the last third of the book. And I guess I would also like to know more about that. I feel like that's also a story that could be told at one point, because there are people that get taken advantage of that way. And she could be kind of, because she's been through it, survived it, and went, you know, on as a free woman. She could be somebody that tells that tale in order to help other people, to inspire other people that are on that kind of ridiculousness. The fact that she even, a grown ass woman, you guys, a grown ass woman in her 30s had to have a conservatorship, and she could not even date. She could not say if she wanted, like the one part they were talking about having kids, she couldn't get her IUD removed. She could not put and decide her own meals because her dad had that much control of her.
Could I have ice cream? No.
Hey.
Like, what? It makes me sad because it's like, I look at her song, I'm a slave for you.
Oh my God.
And literally came true.
Oh my God.
Her autonomy was of somebody else's deciding factor. Like, you're telling me she was such terrible mental state. She couldn't think for herself. She couldn't do anything. Yet she's selling out Vegas residency. Britney Spears walked so that Taylor Swift could run. I don't know if
for sure
realize this.
Yeah.
Because she's the reason. I mean, they were saying, Brittany, you're the reason that, you know, people are coming to Vegas now. Like our economic, you know, structure here in Vegas is getting better because of you. Younger people are coming because of you. And you're still under a conservatorship. You still are being told you're so mentally effed up, you can't do anything for yourself, but you can
She had
work
to have
8
an
hours
allowance.
days.
An allowance. They gave Britney Spears an allowance.
She was making less than her father.
Yeah. And it got so bad she wanted to take her friends out and her card got declined. They took money away from her. Like,
so ridiculous.
That is why you're giving this grown ass woman who has supported people like her sister since she was born, right?
Yeah.
Bought them houses and lake houses and cars and da 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 da. But now she gets an allowance.
Right. Right. A lot of the book to me seemed like, I mean, even though she delved into some dark spots, it really did kind of seem like a love letter to her better memories. You know?
Definitely.
So, and I can respect that, and a lot of the time she was happy, she was dancing or with her dancers or doing this or doing that. And there are parts of the book that are in a way like philosophical, like, cuz she doesn't spell it out for you whether she's doing it intentionally or not, but I just could see so many connections from beginning to end with, you know, her freedom and how much she values that, and you know how she didn't speak up ever. Like Justin was shitting all over her.
Oh my god.
And he cheated on her.
I know. So that's one big part I wanted to talk about was her relationship with Justin and how that was kind of portrayed in the media versus her side of the story. First off, she was pregnant, has that. Now I'm very much so of like, I need evidence. Has that been corroborated? I know she said she had a witness there.
I think it was nobody else because it was just her and Justin. But if it's defamation,
oh yeah, he could sue.
So that's my evidence.
And her assistant at the time, she said was there.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would be very easy to get a witness statement.
Yes. And they did that documentary, and Fee talked completely just so lovingly. Like, I think even Britney didn't like the documentary, but it also helped her get out of that conservatorship. But
see, I never seen that.
It's really good. It actually is really good. But also, again, she wasn't extraordinarily happy with it because nobody was coming to her because they couldn't. They physically couldn't. She was being controlled that much.
And it's crazy to me because when that situation happened with Justin, so I remember that being a big thing when I was young. Like, I think Britney's in her 40s now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she was older than me. And I remember Baby One More Time coming out. And that being a big deal. Like, it was weird because they also go on to talk about a photo shoot where they like sexualized her as a kid.
Yeah. The Rolling Stone cover, right?
I believe it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember. That's so vivid in my, because that poster was on many a boy's.
Oh, yeah.
Walls.
Here, let me show what I'm talking about here. And they like made her look like a kid while also making it very clear she was a gorgeous woman. Like, oh, it's so weird. She was 16. 16.
but then very bit like the media was so intent on being like, oh, she's so virginal and this and that. And I
Yes.
think she was trying a bit to push back. The Teletubby, yeah, she didn't need to be holding that. But like I think she felt good. I mean, I oh god, that one's
It,
bad.
it's weird, right? Like the
But
baby dolls with her in like basically undies.
yeah, she did say she's a fan of the Madame Alexander dolls, so I can see that. But you don't have to look like a
A child.
12-year-old. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
That is, can you imagine? Would this would just not fly today? Like it just wouldn't.
No,
Like, don't get me wrong, she's gorgeous, but come on, you're portraying her like a literal child while
yeah,
also sexualizing her at the same time.
right. That's a lot of what the book is about too.
Yeah. And actually they dive into, and I was surprised a little bit that they drove into like a little bit of the misogyny that she went through. And she kind of points out the double standards of um going back to Justin. Justin was hoeing around. Like I'm not surprised. He was in his prime. He was like this sex symbol. He was hoeing himself around. But she, now I don't know if she slept with the guy or she just kissed him or what happened. And she was made to be this like absolute villain.
Yeah. When the thing was no, but so I didn't get to send you the video I was gonna send you, but with the whole having to give up a baby, she made this song Every Time, and I urge you to watch that. Because the song, if you just listen to it, it seems like it's about Justin. But when
Mm-hmm.
you watch the video, you will fucking cry because it seems like it's so very personal about the experience of having to give her baby up, having to have an abortion. And um it just like it now that all
I
this is
know exactly
out,
what song you're talking about. I'm trying to go through the words in my head. I never thought of, oh my god.
and
Dumb and Dumber said, was she portrayed as a kid or actually a kid? Both.
yeah, both.
Yeah, she was 16, and then they were trying to keep her that like young virginal woman. As far as the media was concerned, but um, then he came out with "Cry Me a River." Oh wait, did I miss your super chat? I'm sorry, Robert. Good morning, one. Man, I am so tired listening in. Wake up.
Wake
It's
up.
11 a.m. Come on. Let's go. Coffee time.
Oh, I got my coffee right here. Docs is gonna bring me some coffee too.
Fuck yes.
He's leaving
But
work early.
what was that? What was I saying? Oh, about Cry
Crime.
Me a River. And that totally like blew up, and everybody knew it was about Britney, right? And basically, they painted her as the reason why this adorable couple in the media broke up.
Yes. Yep.
You know,
They
I'm
made
too
her into a villain.
exactly, but I'm too much of a bitch. I would have just came out and been like, like I know it wasn't up to her. It probably was a team. She probably wasn't allowed to stand up for herself. But like at some point you have to.
She said she felt like if she spoke up, it would make things worse. And now she's learned that she just has to speak her truth. I very much relate to her. I'm crystal girly, astrology girly. She's a Sagittarius like me, you know. So like standing up is hard, and I've always been the person that will let people make me look like a villain. I won't say a word because I feel like I don't need to. I know my truth, how I feel. I know that, Yeah, it is what it is, essentially. Like, unless it's full on slander, it's not worth the headache. It
Yeah,
always
and
seems like fighting is more of a headache.
but the only problem I personally see in that is at some point, when does perception become some people's reality? Right? Like,
Right.
at some point somebody's going to paint you as a villain without knowing the entire side of every, because some people just take the word of, or the video in that case,
Yeah.
of people like Justin Timberlake. And I think we've all done that at some point. Like, I always go back to the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case for people to stop and think,
Mm.
and to, like, wait out and see what is actually going on before you make really opinionated statements or have a strong opinion on something. But at some point during that time, it became this weird reality that she was like that. And then, oh, I love her. I love Madonna. And
Mm.
I didn't realize how close they were.
Yeah. I'm not, okay. First and foremost, I'm not the biggest Madonna fan. This made me really like Madonna. Madonna showed her that being strong is just what you have to do.
Yeah. And Madonna, okay, so you said earlier about Britney paved the way for people like Taylor Swift. Madonna also paved the way for people
Oh
like
yeah.
Britney. And
Hell
like,
yeah.
and you could feel that respect. How do you not like Madonna?
It's not that I don't like her. Maybe it's because it's more on a. I see her as a, the things I see as a person. She's kind of. I don't know. That's a big topic for me.
I don't know anything about, I don't know too much about her as a person. I just like her music. Like that,
I
what is
respect
it?
the shit out of her and what she's done
And
for
her triangle boobies.
her, fucking Cher, even Mariah Carey being a diva. She just knew what she freaking wanted, and she had the talent to back it up.
Yeah. And Like a Prayer, to me, oh my God. Every time I hear those opening lines of Like a Prayer or watch that video, I tear up. Like,
Yeah,
there's just something so strong about certain songs that can make you do that. And that's one of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper too. I'm a big fan of Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, I love her. Girls just want to have fun. I love her.
She like did that whole song because the song was different, and she again stood up for herself, put her foot down, and said, "These freaking men are writing this. Girls just want to have fun. They don't know that I'm not singing this trash. I'm gonna make it what it should be," and it's a hit.
I love it. I love, like, even some Cyndi Lauper always was a little funky. So I loved her for that. And then she did True Colors, and oh my God. Huge talent. Not, this totally got off topic to music. I apologize. I do that a lot.
We're
But
getting tangent.
yes. I thought it was really cool how they had that, like, dynamic of the mentor and mentee type. And even going to that, and I can still picture when she was talking about the VMAs and them doing that kiss. That was like burned into your brain at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
picture
Like
it
the Miley thing.
clearly.
Yeah.
Oh God, Miley. Yeah. Yep.
Those are just images that, like, just like the Justin and Janet thing. Those images are iconic in a way, and they're burned into your brain.
They are, but she also talks a little bit, like, there was one weird part. Now, not ask me, correct me if I'm wrong, but did you get a little, like, weirdly pandering at the one part when she was talking about how she loved gays?
Yeah. She is a gay icon. Just
Is
like
she?
like just like Judy Garland and Liza Minnelli and
I knew they were. I didn't, and I know Madonna is.
Madonna. Yeah, she is. I don't know how. She just is. Like all the I watch a lot of gay YouTubers and I love the crap out of them. And they are the ones that, you know, were really championing for her and doing the Free Britney movement. And a lot of the YouTubers I watched, they were like out there with their signs and you know, they love Britney for I don't know the reason, but you know, with the music they just feel something with her. And
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
it
can
does
see
that
how it
does
was a
make a lot
little
more sense though.
yeah.
Because I was
She
like, this
definitely
is
is.
super random. Like, where did this come from? I didn't,
It was random because it could have been brought up in a different way.
but at least it makes sense because I was like, hold on, we went from talking about like the conservatorship to this is why the queer community loves me. And I'm like, did I miss something? Like, I it was very weird. Also, Pika, Nightwish, are they the ones that sing I wish I had an angel, da 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 da. I wish I had your. Yeah, I know who Nightwish is. Wait, they kicked out their lead vocalist. They also do a really good rendition of Phantom of the Opera. The lead singer's voice from Nightwish is incredible.
Okay, I have to look that up one of these days because I am a big musical fan. Nightwish.
They're so good. Like they have a male and female lead singer, so they have that perfect dynamic. It's so like her voice is incredible. Um, but back to Britney. Um, yeah, it felt a little pandery, but I don't think like in a bad way. Depeche Mode is a queer icon. What? I don't know these things.
I didn't know that. So I did want to say, like, with the Justin breakup, with the Crimea River, he was being a sex symbol at the time, right? And then at the time, a little bit after that, all of a sudden, you know, she's pregnant and stuff like that. But the way paparazzi, number one, made her a villain, number two, uh, the fucking balls on them to talk about her body the way they did, and like the discussions of, you know, a young woman in her 20s having two babies back to back, the way they talked about her, and then her performance coming back and all that. Just like I just want to like I know I bought US Weekly. I know I bought Star magazines at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I was engulfed in that as well. Did I think Britney was a villain? No, I think I was trying to base my own opinions, but I definitely bought into that. And like, I feel bad for ever buying into that. I really, truly do, because I don't think we've seen something so bad just about one person, just constant, not criticism, absolute rage hate.
Well, and I think I bought into it when she shaved her head, and she does talk about that. Like she got sick of everyone, talking about, if she was performing and her hair was moving, that meant the crowd knew you were into it, so she just wouldn't move her hair. She just wouldn't get into it. And eventually she was like, you know what? You don't have a right to this. I'm going to shave my head. That's when the moment I was like, oh my God, she's losing it. Like, not in the book, in real life. Like, I was like, is this girl okay? Like, somebody needs to help her.
Somebody needs to help her. And she was lost. And once you look at it from like the lens she gives us, as I was just getting rid of my long hair. Mm-hmm. I was just getting rid of one of the things that made me apparently so sexy. You know, that was my form of rebellion. Whether it was a type of breakdown, I definitely think it was.
Oh, definitely.
It was her way of being like, oh, you like my long hair? F off.
Yep. And I get it now with context. Out of context, every single one of us were like, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, we were.
What?
And we bought into what the headlines were.
Oh,
And
definitely.
nobody asked this girl outright, are you okay? No, the Matt Lauer and Diane Sawyer dug into her. Not Justin, though.
Right?
It was all, are you okay, sweetie? Fuck. Like, that just angers me now. Like, it was constant double standard and misogyny with her. And it just really, it broke my heart.
And she even talks about that, like Diane Sawyer going in, like, why would you do this? Why would you do that? And then having him on there with tears. Like, she talks about the double standards that a lot of women face. What was she say? She said, if you're hot, you're not smart. If you're smart, you can't be hot. Like, she's like, why can't I do both? And you had to play that. She had to play that role.
Right.
And it's a shame. Oh my God. So I have to ask you this because I do see similarities in how she talked about being empathic and stuff with you. So I got to ask this. If you got a role for a movie, could you see yourself losing yourself in that role like she did?
Oh, yeah.
That's wild.
100%. I would be method acting. I probably would.
I would not call you Lay or Lee. I would not call you Lee. So basically, Britney Spears was hired for this movie. And she I'm trying to find the name of it real quick. Crossroads.
Oh, yeah, that one.
And the character she was playing was quite a bit different than how she is in real life. So she went into the method acting. You know, a lot of people do that. We've seen it. Like, we've seen really gross versions of it from people like Jared Leto, who get hired as Joker and mail people dead squirrels. Or we've seen, like, there was one actor that played, I believe it was Elvis, who said he can't drop his accent now.
Austin, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Usually I'm really good with celebrities. But yeah. And he did. He had a totally different voice, and now he's got like that drawl in some of his, and people criticize him. Also, people are like, hey, you know, whatever works. Just if you got that far into it, you know.
Obviously, they picked the right person for the role. And here at the House of Nerdette, we do not slander Alice Cooper, Timothy. Alice Cooper is God. Now, I can't see that. And I know it takes like a certain person to be able to method act in that way. I could never lose myself in that way. But to see her say how much that affected her it's crazy to me that you can get that into a movie. Black Phoenix said it was a terrible movie. I never seen the movie.
You know what? And now it's like people are like loving it. You know, it's become like a cult classic.
Cult classic. I love when that happens.
It isn't a great movie. It really isn't. It does not hold up. Did I watch it as soon as it came out? Heck yeah, I did. I was a Britney Spears fan, not stan. I didn't like NSYNC. I didn't like the Backstreet Boys. I was so much more into like Spice Girls and Britney Spears.
Oh my God, yes. I loved the Spice Girls. Oh, did you like Christina Aguilera?
Not really. No.
She was always the one I was like, you go to the corner. I'll listen to you if I want, you know, to sing really high, but go to the corner for now, please.
She's an amazing singer.
Yeah.
Never like, you know, but she has also been one of those people that I feel put women down sometimes. And I
always hated her belly. It was so fucking perfect. I didn't like looking at it.
I get that. I totally get that. I had a friend who had a stomach like that, and she would hug me and take my belly and jiggle it, and she'd be like, "Oh, you got this Buddha belly. I love it so much. I wish I had it." And I'm like, this is detrimental.
Right? I would be like, fuck you, out. You are an outside friend now.
Yeah. I a lot of people, family, friends, not my mom, but with the weight thing, it is an annoyance.
Yeah, and like growing, that's the girls we're talking about is the girls that we grew up with seeing on TV. Like seeing these like perfect bodies and all the girls growing up like always having their midriff showing. Like I never liked that style.
Lowest rise jeans. So
oh my god.
Your is hanging out. I'm sorry, but I still love my low rises.
Yep. I do too. And like it's become in fashion to wear higher waisted pants now. And it's so fucking weird to me.
I have a few that I love because they're flares, but I've put on some weight and now I can't fit to them.
That's see, I don't mind like when they're like dress pants and they're a little higher waist, but jeans, I can't do it. Jeans just feels wrong.
It started hurting like my actual bladder and kidneys.
This is what we did in the 2000s. Come on, guys. All those low ride jeans, freaking white shoes, and crop top shirt. That's what that's all you needed to survive.
I haven't. I'm gonna put an outfit on later and send you a picture.
Oh my god, that's great. That's freaking awesome.
I have.
I'm telling you, it's ingrained in our brains at this point.
Right.
It's so funny. But back to Britney Spears, totally not going off on tangents, guys. But the whole thing with so we seen a lot of her when she was young, partying a little bit. Then they had the main Justin phase. And then it felt like there was a time before she shaved her head where it seemed normal. But then she met Kevin Federline. Like, I feel like there were so many red flags.
Yeah.
Like, she found out that he had, a 9-month-old baby?
Yeah.
And one on the way?
Mm-hmm. And he left his family.
For her.
She says she didn't find that out till later. But again, we don't.
Right.
We don't know the truth. And love will make you do some
crazy. Yeah. Things. And then she got pregnant. And what was it, 3 months later? Pregnant, or 3 months after, not 3 months later, she got pregnant within a pregnancy. 3 months after their first child was born, got pregnant again.
Yeah. And what I loved, though, in a sense, that she talked about, she definitely was going through postpartum. But I think every woman suffers with it in a different way. And the way she suffered wasn't a lack of love for her babies. She literally wanted to put them back inside. She wanted to.
Yes.
Like that broke my freaking heart. I was like, that was her postpartum, was trying to save her babies from the paps hunting her down.
Like, I love that way she described it because I totally get it. She just wanted to protect her little baby so much. She wanted to carry it. That's what she had been used to. 2 years nearly of being pregnant.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the control was gone.
Yeah.
And like, I have seen, I know, what was it? Maybe a year or two ago, somebody tried to post a video of her yelling at one of the kids. And tried to make her look like a bad mom. And the only thing it reinforced to me was that she knows how to punish her kids. Like,
yeah, that she's not letting them get away with being disrespectful. And Kevin freaking Federline posted that.
Oh, is that who? Okay. I remember seeing it going around and I'm like, this is going to backfire to anybody that has a brain, because nothing of what I'm seeing here is abusive. All I am seeing, I think his name was Jaden. Was that the boy's name? Something like that.
Yes, she was talking to Jaden, yeah.
And she did nothing wrong. She was just being a mom. And then that's another thing that actually Jeanette talked about a lot, was putting mothers on a pedestal, right? Like, she's still a human. She's still a person. She has lots of labels. You can't expect her to be perfect, right?
Oh.
Like, you just can't. No mother is. Robert, thank you so much. Okay, honest, sincere question. What is the difference between how you girls felt about these celebs and how they made you feel? And current feminists on how they are recently with video games and comics. How did we get there from now? Is there any difference? Okay, loaded question. But definitely good. Also, thank you. So I feel like when it comes to Britney, anything before she was 18 is not of her doing, right? She's not able to, even, like, she can say, I'm okay with taking these photos, but a lot of that falls on her parents. I do feel like she very much is of the mind that she, just like most women, enjoy being sexy.
Yeah.
She, just like most women, enjoys seeing other women that feel good about themselves and are beautiful. Like, I don't get that truly judgmental vibe that we've got from some more of the current wave of feminism, whatever you would call that, where it's like they're very judgmental on like mothering, and not everyone. I don't want to like generalize. I'm just giving an example. Mothering and housewifery, and you've seen like the trad wife trend where it's like, oh my God, it's so regressive towards women. No, she's choosing that. That's the difference. You have to be able to choose it. And I feel like Britney after 18 was able to choose her look in the limelight. Like, she talks about that I'm a slave for you performance, right? Where she's got the snake. And she loved it. She was just scared.
Yeah.
Like, she owns that shit. She loves it. So I think I think a lot of things, sometimes nowadays when people are miserable, they project misery. And I don't see that from the other side. Dear fucking Tony. Dear innocent to the world, wrapped in your blanket and drinking your milk, baby Jesus, please save Tristan from the evil of Tom King's writing. Hail CG. Oh my God. That's the newest thing. Freaking Tom King wrote something that has to do with religion, and oh my God, the SJWs are upset. And by SJWs, I mean people just like you, Tony. Just like you. That's so funny. Villains aren't allowed to be villainous. It was literally the villain saying something more anti-Christian. Yeah. And it's like, didn't we go through this when the villains weren't allowed to be Nazis, but now they're not allowed to be? Okay. I don't know the rules. I'm just going to enjoy what I enjoy.
But what about Daredevil?
Right? He's a very Catholic superhero.
Extraordinarily.
Like, I think Helena, what's her name? Huntress is also Catholic. Wait, did I make that up in my head because she has a cross?
Could have.
I don't remember. I have to. I know she had a cross when she was first, and I was like, wait, no, she's Catholic, right? Or I could have made that up.
I have no idea about Huntress.
Oh my God, that's funny. But yeah, that's the new thing. How dare Tom King? Okay, thank God I didn't make that up. I was like, I know she's very Catholic. What am I thinking? Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. I'm good. What was it? What were we Robert's question.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like she owns her beauty. Don't you? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. And she she points out, Britney does more to point out the misogyny and the double standard without saying, I'm like this full on feminist, because then
Right.
she's like, I love my body. I love, I love feeling sexy. She does point out, yeah, I have feminist tendencies, but I'm also a woman who, likes to be seen. She's a dancer, essentially. I feel
She's an
like
entertainer.
I feel like dancers are so extremely comfortable showing things, because it's all about movement. It's all about their bodies. And I relate to her like that. The actress thing, Jeanette, was different, was totally different. I feel like, first of all, she's a born writer, and she was wrestling with being such a shy person, and then not being able to grow up and to be a woman at all. And now she's stepping into this era, not being like, I'm this crazy feminist, just being like, I am a woman and I can celebrate it now.
Well, and I also feel like there was a very distinctive difference. Is Britney was a born performer. She talks about that, how she wanted that life. Like,
Yes,
she was all in on it. And Jeanette was exactly opposite. So I think it's fair that both are accepted. Like, I definitely feel like they both, like, I love listening to old, not love, but there'll be times when I'm in a girly mood and I'll listen to old Britney Spears stuff, or even Taylor Swift or Olivia Rodrigo. Like, I feel like there is a lot of women out there that still own that beauty without feeling like I know Sydney Sweeney right now is saying, this may be old news, but I seen it this morning on a short about how she's okay with the male gaze. Like, I feel like that's a lot of women, but feminism is become a dirty word, right? Like,
yeah.
feminist is something bad nowadays, whereas before it was you were fighting for your rights, and now feminists are just fighting to be heard.
Yeah.
And not actually doing anything. Like, there are a lot of double standards talking about video games, talking about sexism in gaming. The real sexism in gaming is at the companies. Like, we've seen lots of lawsuits, but they're not talking about that. They're talking about, oh my God, Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
Do you really just want attention sometimes? Not all of them, obviously, but like, it feels like a lot of it is just validation seeking. I love yes, the male gaze. Everybody's favorite.
I love all my gays.
But like Sydney Sweeney, and I don't know exactly what she said, but she was like, I'm fine if, I want to look pretty. I don't, and I'm okay with that. Like, I feel like most women are that way.
Yeah.
I meant Gaze.
I understand that. I was making a joke.
That's so funny.
I knew what you meant.
That's so funny. So one thing I wanted to ask you about is your thoughts on, so the book came out and we've seen a lot of like of her posting on Instagram. Yeah. And she does talk in the book about that briefly. But like a lot of times when I see her posting on Instagram, it's because some other news outlet covered it and they're going, what's wrong with Britney?
Yeah. It's still the same freaking cycle. Britney gets the views and she knows that. And men all her life have used her for that. Like, it's ridiculous. She's just, dancing with knives. Listen, I have danced with knives. Maybe I didn't post it on Instagram. If you want me to, join my OnlyFans. But, and I did see something about, well, we won't get into that. But her Instagram post, it just, to me, like, I understand where people might have a problem with it, but she's just finally being able to do what she wants, whether you like it or not. It's her doing what she wants. Like, stop saying something's wrong with her, because what was wrong with her before, nobody, was looking at with a wanting to help perspective. They're just trying to
Right.
make money.
Right. And now it's everything, something is wrong with her. Well, where was that energy before when she was literally almost held captive in rehab facilities against her will? Like,
Oh,
it's horrifying. Robert, thank you so much. I've said it before. I personally think feminism has had so many victories, getting what they wanted. That those that are still left, still unsatisfied, are the extremists, the man haters, or the jealous. I don't want to be compared to curvy women type who want victories. I don't necessarily all the way disagree, but I still think there's really good, like, people that are openly feminist, like Greta Gerwig.
mm,
And she's able to make something that, like with Barbie, right, that
yeah,
appealed to mass audience, but still was able to tell a story about women and the human perspective. um I do feel like those extremists are the one that have tainted the words,
yeah,
or the ones that condemn you for being a mother, or for being, not being this independent person until you're 40. I feel like those are the ones that are give the give the good ones, so to
uh,
speak, a bad name. But that's kind of with everything, right? The extremists always are the loudest.
yes, of course.
You
I
know when
think
that
that
works though?
mm,
When it actually was heard of from the media to get Britney help. And I
yeah,
loved that was the one part that really made me tear up, where she was thanking everyone for that initial push.
yeah, yeah. She's like, my fans obviously felt that there was something wrong. Like, she gave so much love to him. It makes me cry.
Like there was like that connection, right? And they knew something was wrong. And the way she talked about that last facility she was at, um, it was basically prison.
Yeah, but she found hope. That's where she found her hope, because that was where the nurse was showing her the Free Britney stuff. So it's
Yeah.
like, you can be in one of the darkest places, and and thank God somebody was like, "Hey, look, eh, they want you. They know you're not good. They know this is ridiculous."
It blew my mind. I think his name is Michael Rosengard, her lawyer that did ended up getting her conservatorship removed,
Yeah,
said cons, murderers, rapists, these people had more rights than you. You didn't even get to pick a lawyer.
right.
Like, do you not realize what rights were taken away from you as a person? You didn't even get to pick your lawyer. You had the court appointed lawyer of your father's choosing.
Yep. And them telling you that, no, you can't. You don't have the right to find a different lawyer. Sorry,
that
lying to her.
that is crazy to me. Like everyone, that's the fundamentals of our judicial system. Is you're supposed to be able to have adequate representation.
Yeah,
And it wasn't even until her new lawyer and the Britney movement started to make some light that she got to have the judge actually not hear her, because they all listen, but there was what the fuck are you doing? Hush, being so loud. Um, they all listen, but it was the first one to hear what she was actually saying.
yeah, yeah. And I listened to that when it came out, the clip of her speaking to the judge, and like instantly, she even goes through it in the book, and like it just brings me to tears, because it's like, you have no rights, literally none, not even rights to your body. And
Yeah.
all you're asking for is to be able to say what's been going on, and you can't, and no one's listening to you. And then all of a sudden, everyone's listening.
Yep. That was right after. Hold on, let me grab that from him. It's driving me crazy.
Kitties are nuts, and we love them. And I will say, while she's
playing with plastic.
Chicago, though, she could have been in Chicago.
Oh my God. How cool would that have been, though?
I would have loved that. Like, that was one of my questions. Like, imagine the landscape now if she was in Chicago. Like, that would have been sick. And it seems like she would have been one of the in that I can't think of the name, jail scene when all the
the jail cell tango.
Yes, that. I think that's what
she would have. Yeah, she would have been one that killed her husband.
Yes.
So like, there's I think there's 7 altogether. One is not guilty, and then you have the 2 main ones. So like, we could have seen her talking about, like, my favorite line from that. She's like, and he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 7 times. Like, that could have been Britney Spears.
Right.
That would have been cool.
Right? Or the he just kept popping his gum. Like, that one is so good.
My God, that would have been perfect for her, though.
Right. Any of them.
No, that would, though, like, if she was having issues with the method acting, though, that may not have been the best for her.
Like, it was her first role, so, like, maybe she thought that's how acting is, is
right.
just method. Maybe she just didn't do enough research, because I'm sure she could have found a different way to get into an acting character.
Or get a good coach, somebody that kind of guides her through the process.
And they have like therapies after when you method act to get you out of that headspace.
They seriously do?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a way to like help
transition back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. I mean, that's crazy though, but like it makes sense.
I think it's a more on the newer side thing. No, actually, no, it's not. I think it's been around for a little while. But I recently learned that myself. I thought that was cool.
That is really cool. I feel like a lot of this was also a love letter to her fans. Like,
oh yeah.
There were times when I felt like it was just simply for the first time in her life being able to tell her story. Like, it didn't have to make perfect sense. It didn't have to be perfectly linear. It didn't have to do all the OCD things. She just wanted to get her side of her life out there because everybody's seen it from the media perspective.
And her mom making a book about her.
Oh yeah, her mom made a book too. Can you imagine the audacity?
Yeah, this is so gross. Her parents suck.
Like, how much do you need to profit off of your child?
Exactly. She's already the reason you guys are multi-freaking millionaires.
And then to go and put all of your most intimate life details about your daughter. I don't know.
And then also villainizing your own daughter in a way. Like, what the actual, like...
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah. I'm curious, is there any relationship with them at all?
So recently, yes.
Okay.
Christmas, I think, was the first time that her and her mom kind of got together. I believe she's been speaking with Brian more and more, her brother. But there's definitely no relationship between her father and
those are some things that are just unforgivable, and that's one of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would honestly, I don't even think I could forgive the mother, but
Yeah. Like,
healing's
if you
healing.
passively sat there and let all this happen throughout her entire life, then you are guilty. Sorry, you are. Especially as a mother, that's wild. Who had worse parents, Britney or Jeanette?
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God. That's so.
Brittany had two terrible parents that took her autonomy away when she was older. Jeanette had massive abuse when she was younger. It's just like, it's so hard to compare that.
Ooh, that's so. It is. I don't even think there's a right answer to that.
I don't either because of yeah.
They're
Jeanette was never the media villain
right.
the way Brittany was, and that was all due to her family. Her family was terrible for longer than Jeanette's.
Yeah, and Jeanette sometimes got some reprieve and some closure, but
Yeah,
I feel like Brittany's still working through that. Like, it's
yeah,
gonna take some time.
she's still healing. Yeah, Jeanette writing the book and being able to, you know, speak up herself and then get through, she had to get through her eating disorder and everything like that, but she has had more of an adulthood than Brittany has.
Yeah, definitely. Because there were times where she was talking about when she worked in Vegas, right? Yeah. And she was like, I lived in Sin City and I couldn't even sin.
Yeah,
Like, I couldn't do anything. 280 something shows a year.
yeah,
Like, this girl never got to breathe.
but she was so mentally incapacitated. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, there were times where she was talking about she would go and do dozens of shows a month. She was able to do that, but she wasn't able to pick out her own outfits.
Right.
What? None of what happened to her made any sense if you look at it from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, and
And
then you
they
can't
continued
walk
to let it
outside.
happen. No, go ahead.
You can't even walk outside to get a reprieve because as soon as you do, you got people, making you look like just the worst person ever. Like, it just imagine. I couldn't imagine.
That was one thing she talked about that she had a really hard time with. Like,
Yeah,
just the absolute insanity of the paparazzi.
yeah, especially around her babies.
I get that that's a big like seller and people are interested but it feels like such an invasion of privacy when all she's trying to do is walk to the car with her newborn and they won't let her through. Like,
Um, there's a clip of her in like a cafe or a whatever coffee shop, and I think she speaks about it. And she's sitting there crying, and even the patrons are moving away from her and like taking videos and whatever. Imagine being a human being in that situation
no.
and not trying to comfort her because of whatever the paparazzi has said. Like, I could never. If I was in that coffee shop, I swear on my life, I would have fucking sat next to her and talked to her and tried to help her because nobody did.
Like, she even talks about the one she had issues with one of the paparazzi over and over again. So they were familiar enough with her to stalk her in that way, to try to get pictures of her children, and chase her. Like, it just, and then frame it any way they want. There was one about where she tripped and she had water in her hand,
Mm,
and they framed it like she was unwell when all she was trying to do was get away from them.
yeah, I've seen that clip too, and it's just they are surrounded. Like, she has nowhere to move.
if I remember correctly, I think it was maybe Jennifer Garner or somebody introduced some legislation to help with situations like that because they didn't want their children out there. Like, I totally respect it if you want to put, a picture on your Instagram. Here's our newborn. Like I think they did with Beyonce and them, right?
Blake Lively was spoken out about that too. I think there are a few women that were just really like, this is invasive. You're endangering me and my child.
Yes. And I think there's actually been some stuff that's came up since then to protect them. But not when she was young. Like she's got famous in 99. So from then on, it was constantly dealing with the what's that big one? TMZ?
Yeah. The ones who put the Amber Heard video out that she had edited.
Oh my God. And you know what's funny? Yes, it was completely edited. They cut off the end. And then when people like me tried to cover it, they gave me a copyright strike and took it down. So it couldn't be looked at objectively.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And like I had to fight. I won because it was fair use, but I had to fight it tooth and nail.
That's crazy. They're terrible. They're just freaking terrible. I hate TMZ.
And I think there's like just Jared and I don't pay attention to them that often. It only when it becomes like big news do I actually pay attention. But it's just wild how much they can get away with. Todd asked earlier, did you hear about the JoJo Siwa stuff?
I've been paying attention to it. Yeah. I'm making such a big leap into. I'm such a Miley Cyrus, and then it's laughable.
She like took her. I'll bring it up on here so you guys can see, but basically took her look. Like it reminds me of Kiss.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh wait, I typed in Kiss and I definitely got the wrong Kiss.
Always Googling the wrong things.
Right? No, just stop. Let me see it. I don't care that I have an ad blocker. Just stop. All right, fine. I'll unblock the ads. But here we go. No, work. Share this tab instead. And there we go. She's super edgy now, guys.
Super edgy. You see, with all that glitter, how edgy she is.
Mm-hmm.
With all the rhinestones.
She's got a mohawk. That's how you know she's edgy.
That's how you know. Yep, that is it right there. The edgiest person I've ever seen.
Who steals their songs off of TikTokers from 2012?
And apparently created gay pop. Okay. Have you ever heard of Elton John?
She said she created gay pop.
She's like, I want to do this new thing. It's like gay pop. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh,
it's laughable. God. Everything is laughable. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to like be that guy, but it's just like you can tell you still haven't learned what the world is about. Sweetie, you've been a millionaire all your life.
Yeah. And like she was good for little girls, like that phase where she went through after Dance Moms. Like she was just being a normal little girl. And not being like overly weird or anything like that. Is that a member of Guar? Oh my God, she does look like it. She just needs some big old shoulder pads. But now she's come out and is this her? Oh God, I can't do that voice. I'm sorry. Now she's come out in stolen songs and she's reinventing herself as the edgiest girl ever. I'm so proud of her.
So proud. Snaps for JoJo.
remember when we said a lot of these child stars go through this phase? I think it's happening again.
But it's like the phase is that you've gone through some stuff. You know,
Right.
she just hasn't. She's always, it just seems to me like she's always just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks.
I mean, I get that. Like, I never thought of her as anything but like this cutesy kid thing with the ponytails. They were cute, the big old JoJo bows, and now it's Sting. Yeah.
I'm trying to find there were some really fantastic memes, and they were just like with that picture, like, oh, JoJo looks like this.
Like all the videos I've seen about her, there's a funny one by Funky Frogbait, and it's like how JoJo Siwa ruined her career in 10 seconds. Like, it's like if you were getting, like, she's literally said, I wrote the songs, or I wrote it, I think it's called Karma or something like that.
Yes.
I wrote the lyrics to the song, and people found it from 2012. The same exact song. How do you come back from something like that?
Yeah, exactly. And then she's like, oh, she said something. Oh my goodness. She said like, oh, fuck, I can't remember now. But yeah, no, they've been the original song and songwriter, because apparently the song was written by somebody, then maybe given to Miley Cyrus. Miley didn't want it. This is rumor, allegedly.
Okay.
And then what I do know is the original songwriter did come out with a video. And now that song, same exact song as JoJo Siwa's new song, has gotten more streams and views. Exactly.
No! Exactly. Oh my God.
Yep.
Way to blow up and not even mean to. That's incredible, though. I love when stuff like that happens. Not that I want some JoJo Siwa to feel bad, but don't go out there and be like, I wrote this out by myself, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my
exactly.
God. Britt Smith is the original girl. Okay.
Thank you. I was just looking that up because I was like, I know her name is Britney. I can't find the memes I was looking for, but I'll try to find some later and send them to you, because they were just so funny comparing her look to all these other
all I see is Kiss. Oh, that's what I see.
Cringe performances.
Oh my God. Oh God. And I know she said nobody's ever done this before. Bitch, what? Okay. Goodness gracious. Okay, let's talk a little bit about, because I want to get your opinion.
Yeah.
On the sexism in gaming stuff.
Okay. It's a thing?
No, I mean, like, so there's every time one of these controversies come up, I always see both. Like, there's only ever two answers. There's no nuance. That's not a thing, online. It's either girls like Ephraim Stellar Blade are a problem, an issue. They're for men to fap at, and they're causing real life harm to women. And then if you see a girl like Abby come out, it's, oh my God, this is woke. This is not realistic. This is not, like, it's wildly different sides of the spectrum. What I don't understand is why both can't exist for women when they very clearly do for men.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's why I want you to play DMC, because that to me is female gaze right there.
That's so in the video that I sent you earlier talked about, it was perfect because it talked about Red Dead 2, how all the girls were smitten, and I'm like, yep.
Listen,
checks out.
the reason though that it works so well in Red Dead 2 is because Arthur is also, if you play in the best way possible, which I always do. I don't do evil villain stuff. If you play in the best way possible, Arthur is a like loving, respectable, emotional character. He's there for the women in his gang. Like the last scene of that, if you look up streamers, I am not the only one that cried playing that game. I was like just devastated to lose him. I loved Arthur so freaking much because of just who he encompassed.
And there was like, that was a normal thing. Like, there are compilations of girls burning out over him, like just smitten. And it's not the first video game character like that. So if females can do that, males can have their stellar blade. But also at the same time, what is wrong with characters that aren't? So I'm going to use Mortal Kombat as an example because it's the easiest and most accessible example for me. You have literal monsters on there like Shao Kahn and Baraka. What is the problem if Li Mei doesn't look like a supermodel? She's not even a monster. She just, you know what I'm saying? Like, why is it okay for one sex to have ugly characters but not females?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, we don't, and not every game has to pander.
Right.
You know, like I understand that it was more of a male dominated field, video games. You know, when the video game awards started out, they started on Spike TV, okay? The place that started the man show. And so they had naked women with the nominees or with the winners on their chest, and they were coming out, and then they were also like roasting video gamers. You know, like I dare you to watch the first few years of the video game awards because it's terrible. It's just like so stereotypical and cliche, and we've come such a long, far way. And yeah, I like my sexy characters. I also like my normal looking ass characters. There's nothing wrong with that.
Like, I'm very much so, I like grounded storytelling more. I've been a little bit better about that, but I think that's the draw for me with like The Last of Us, right? You have a very real situation and a very real characters where revenge in that world is seemingly a lot easier than it would be in this one, right? And you have to actually follow what revenge looks like in the cycle of, you know, Ellie getting saved caused Joel basically to kill Abby's dad. And that doesn't make him a good guy, right? And I think a lot of people also like put on a pedestal characters like that without looking at the nuance of like, this dude's a murderer, right? Like,
yeah,
I get it. I love Joel too. But I also love Abby.
Yeah, Joel's reasons were selfish. He wasn't 100% the good guy. You know, I always go back to Scott Pilgrim with that. He's not the hero. He isn't. You know, it's nuanced, and it's also in your face too. It's like I love games like that. I love grounded stuff like that, and I think the realism of, you know, think about putting any of the female characters in Last of Us. Think about putting them sexy like. Just think about it for a second.
That's weird, right?
It's very
it's weird. Like, it's super weird. Like,
so people are asking for things that wouldn't work, and then the game wouldn't be good.
Yeah, and like I'm also very much so of like whatever you're as the creator. So in that, you know, scenario, Neil Druckmann or even the Ed Boons of the world or the David Jaffe, any of them, what you had envisioned, I think you should go through with. I don't think you should have to pander to one side or the other because you're going to lose what you originally started and wanted to create.
Right.
Devora is not fucking hot. No.
Who said that? Reese?
No, Hooded.
Hooded.
Devora is the worst fucking character. NRS was like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to create a new character. Let's make them, everybody like them. Let's have them kill Melina. Then Hanzo. Yeah, nobody likes Devora.
Nobody likes Devora.
Oh my God.
Even I know that, and I'm not an MK player, guys. Devora.
Well, and bugs are gross, right? Like, so I don't like bugs anyway. It's just, ew.
But they also had, like, with Mass Effect, they had, like, alien-looking characters that were hot. Like, you know, you can do that. You can toe the line. And again, that game was great.
See, and Reese, I'm gonna pick on you because deal with it. Abby, big Papa Pump. I like muscle mummies, but she's a fail. She's not supposed to be pretty, right? Just like in the same way, all the male counterparts around her, save for maybe Manny, are not handsome. They're gritty in what it would look like in that world if that fungus had hit and it had, you know, exploded and the world had gone to shit. They're not going to be gorgeous. Like,
yeah.
Another one. Do you remember when that was going around with Aloy?
Yeah.
They were like, she's ugly. I'm like, oh my God.
I loved her look. Absolutely.
I thought she was adorable, like cute redhead.
Right. Long flowing hair. Like,
yes.
What do you mean she's ugly? Like, yeah, maybe if you zoom in her face because it's a video game, everybody.
Well, yeah, but like,
but that's
also I don't feel like they went out of their way to, like, they were very clearly trying to make her an attractive woman. She was pretty.
She was, and she also, you know, was like, what do you call that? It was like almost caveman status in that video game. So it's like, again, you cannot expect her to have bright blue eyeshadow. Thank you. And all this other stuff. Husband's here. He's bringing.
Did you get your coffee?
She's delivering
and empanadas.
Empanadas are discontinued, so you got bagels.
I got bagels.
Bagels are delicious
But
too.
they only discontinued things on the first of the month, but now apparently halfway through the month.
Duncan makes the best sausage and egg empanadas, and apparently they don't make them anymore. No.
Rude.
Disappointing. I love you.
Zombie games do not suck. They're so fun, Reese. Come on now. But I feel like when it comes to this narrative.
And goodbye. Love you guys.
Bye, Dax.
She said, hey.
I feel like when there's like this narrative that all women are in Western gaming are ugly, it's super easy to look at current video games and realize that that's not true. Like Baldur's Gate. I know that one's super popular, right? Like, there's a lot of weird, like, sex in that. Like, bear sex? You guys, yes, like, you can fuck a bear in that, guys.
No. Why are you giving these people suggestions?
You can also fuck aliens.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with bestiality.
Like, it's the weirdest shit. It's such a weird narrative because I don't think it's actually real. I think it's like, okay, has there been a desexualization of women? To a degree. I think a lot more women are gaming. I don't think you're going to get like your button mash fuckers like, was it God of War 3?
Yeah. Oh
and
my
stuff
God,
like that.
Those. Can I just tell you? I do miss those.
I mean, I get it. I get it. They were fun. No, they were fun.
They were hot Grecian ladies, and I was like, yeah.
B, motherfucker. Take my B.
Ashton killed my controllers.
That's so funny. And like, I've got my PlayStation up right now. Like, You go to the main fucking things. You go to the main games that are out. And there are gorgeous women in nearly all of them that contain women. You got Tekken, you got Dragon's Dogma. I'm trying to look what's like. I don't even know what's new because I have been looking. Have you heard of that game Alone in the Dark?
No.
I'm gonna send you a trailer later.
Please
I kind of want to check it out. It's got the guy from Stranger Things in it.
I'll check it out with you. Shoot.
It looks really fucking cool.
Is it a scary game?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm here for it. Still gotta play the Quarry though.
I know. We have to. Okay, so there is this new game, and I'm sure you probably heard of it, that Star Wars Outlaws, where the lead lady is not great looking.
Dude, that game looks so freaking good though.
So I don't know anything about Star Wars, so I didn't even look.
Good. It looks okay, so that's a trailer I need to find and send you because the game looks really good. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. She's not a freaking model. It's Star Wars, guys.
Does she have a mullet?
I could find. I mean, I bet you could make her have a mullet.
She kind of has one already, and I hate it. Like, I feel like this is becoming a thing, and we need to rebel against it. Like,
we'll start like a social justice for no mullets.
No mullets. That's it. That's the only requirement. I guess it's not.
Oh, that's a wolf cut, sweetheart.
Yeah. It's close, though. It made me nervous.
Okay. Yeah, that's a wolf cut. She has to cut her hair on her own, so she brings it up in a ponytail and wolf cuts it. I do that all the time. It's not.
It's very 80s.
It is. It is. I like it. But that, again, could be a cutscene, just the cover art. In the game, it doesn't look, it looks better there.
Yeah.
Definitely. But the picture right above it to the left.
This one?
Because these are all above. Yeah. That one.
Oh, see, that looks good in action.
Because that looks in game. You know what I mean? Like that looks like actual footage in game. I think, like, what do you guys mean? You think she looks ugly? I don't.
I don't think she's like the thing is when I'm looking at it now, she doesn't look as bad as I had originally thought. But like, here's from the trailer that she doesn't look great. It looks like maybe it's a graphics issue. I want to know more about what this thing is. This is adorable.
I am telling you, please watch the trailer because that thing is the reason I want to play the game.
It's so cute. It looks like a weird axolotl with legs or something. I don't know.
John, have you ever seen John Carter?
Like the person?
No, like the movie.
No.
Oh, it's a good movie. They're finally making a second one. But they have like fun little creatures like that, and he gives me that kind of vibe, just small.
It's so cute. I have a feeling it's going to be like Baby Yoda. It's going to steal.
It's going to be your companion, definitely. The trailer looks amazing. Actually, I scoffed at it. I was like, ew, another Star Wars game. This is going to suck. And I was wrong. I will admit.
Oh, that's Nyx. Oh, I like the name even. Oh, I love it already.
Nyx is the goddess of the moon or night or dreams. Dreams, god of dreams. Sorry, nerd.
I totally knew that too, swear.
I'm a nerd, I know.
So what do you think of the, let me bring a picture up. I seen this yesterday. It looks terrible to me, but I did not. I wouldn't use it. See this suit right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called. They have a skin suit.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring it up and show you an actual motion.
There was a new costume that in MK that had that vibe to me. It was one of the guys though that was wearing it, and it
Of
was
course it was.
yeah, of course. I forget what it was. A new fucking skin. I can't remember what it was now.
Like, you can see her whole ass.
You can see everything. You can see.
Oh, it's not something I would use. I think it's a little too much. But
I
like,
understand people like it. I get that, and that's fine. You know, it toes the line of not being fine when you get games that are full exploiting women, and like some of these, they're really, I can't think of the name. I was looking them up earlier. I couldn't find it. I watched a video, and there are some Japanese dating sims, and you can make women be like children and like do all this gross things. That's when I'm not for it.
Yeah.
And you're putting boobs on a 13.
Oh my God, you can't see it. I've been showing. Damn it.
I can't.
Okay. See, like, there's some really cute outfits. I feel like Mortal Kombat could learn. Like, come on now, give us these cute outfits.
I even like that.
Like, these are really cute. So they give an option no matter what your style is. If you want to see her naked, it's there. If you want to put a cute outfit on her, it's there. And I have no issue with that. I wouldn't. I it would be so weird playing with that suit on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's giving me like oiled up vibes.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks like.
It just looks oiled up, and I can't.
It looks like it's gonna be some sort of porn. Come on now, let's be real. And some people are fine with that. I don't care. I'm more like, the other outfits are there.
Yeah. And they have an obvious demographic.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. And I think it's doing well. To my understanding, and I'm sure it's going to. I think it was more like Sekiro meets Soulsy type-ish for me, but I wasn't overly impressed with it. James said, now I want milk. Because there's a demo, and I think the demo's still out. I think you can still, I'm sure you can.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a 2-hour demo. And I wasn't overly impressed with it. But it's really not my type of game. It's like big bombastic storytelling, right? This I thought they were sex bots. I thought they were like, not sex bots, but like robots at first, till I saw them bleed. And the one girl in the very beginning, oh my God, I couldn't, like, it was distracting how much her boobs went. Like, it was distracting. I think her name was Taki. Yeah. It was like, and that's the thing though. I don't give a fuck if those games exist. If those games exist, have fucking fun. But also understand, I'm gonna have fun with the games that I like a little more realism.
Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna give, if say there's a split demographic, say that 50% women play that game and 50% men play that game, give us what we want. Like, you're gonna give them boobs and stuff. I'm not saying throw penis out there. I'm just saying, like, I want to see someone double cheeked up. Like,
can you imagine like having that whole ass out while you're fighting with Brock or something? It just makes no sense.
Oh my gosh. I mean, come on. I love Reptile, and I love Havoc, and I love those chaotic characters, and I find them sexy.
I mean, I think that's pretty normal. Even Havoc, he kind of looked a little John Cena before he was burnt off a little bit. But like, they made them good looking, just like they made Melina and Katana. And obviously Natara is gorgeous because she's Megan Fox, but She can't. As long as she doesn't open her mouth, we're good. We're good to go.
Exactly. But the thing is with the original the original characters that they put out, they also didn't make them like, you know, porcelain skin and shit like that. You know, they were hot and they still have realistic features, even though some of them were reptiles.
Like, yeah. And I think when it comes to like getting upset, is anybody really upset? Okay. Real question. Does anybody really fucking care that much that you have realistic characters are over the top, like sex doll type characters? I know she's based off a real woman. I don't care. She still looks 12 to me. She just looks young. That's not even saying that the game's gonna be bad. I am interested in the game. But does anybody really fucking care in the real world? Like, is anybody paying attention to this discourse? I don't think so. I don't think any of it's really making a difference.
No. I mean, I just think it's gonna be redundant. It always has been. And it will still. It's a handful of people complaining, not the majority. The majority's like, even especially with Fable, it's like, just fucking release the game. Who cares what she looks like? Like,
right, and you were one of the first to say that's just Fable's brand. And like, people that didn't play it were looking at it from their view of, oh, they're purposefully making this chick ugly. Like, no, that's what they do.
Yeah. Go back and look at Fable's characters, guys. Like, let's be real.
Neo said only terminally online women who have low self-esteem and grifters. Yeah, I can see that. I also think it's fair that if you want a woman, like, because it's pretty even now, whereas 20 years ago it may not have been, but a lot of more women play video games now. I think it's pretty fair to have kind of a... Do you think a character like what I just showed you would turn women off from buying it?
No. I really don't think so. Not women gamers who have been doing this who have been gaming for a long time. No, I don't think it'll turn them off. Maybe
I don't think so either. Like, I could see how it could get distracting or it might make you feel weird to play, but like, I think that feeling goes away pretty quickly. Anyways,
most of the women I know appreciate a woman's body. Can appreciate that, you know?
I think most of the women are just as big as pervs as the men. Let's be real.
Right.
And this is no a cartoon and comics gonna pick on you now. You're not sending a message. That's the thing. You're not sending your message. This is what they want from you. They want you to buy it. You're buying it. Like, that's not sending any sort of message. And I feel like a lot of people have weaponized people with the culture war to think that they're actually making a difference. And that sounds really, really heartless, but I don't think these people are making any sort of difference. And calling it puritanical shit is the same thing that you could say about demonizing characters like Abby. You see, I only have one go-to character because they say all Western gaming is turned ugly, but the only one I can think of on the top of my head is the Fable chick and Abby.
Yeah. And you're telling me Abby's puritanical when she did what she did to Joel?
Like, she got, not only that, but she got fucked in the boathouse. Like, she absolutely did.
Yeah.
What's puritanical about that? Like, you see her bending over her non-boobs. Come on now. There are loads. Name 5, Gary. Come on. You're on a mission now.
Yep.
Real ones, besides Abby and Fable, which I just named.
And Alloy.
Oh, yeah, we named Alloy, too.
Yeah.
Is it Alloy or Alloy?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
Everything wrong. I'm not the
MJ.
person. What?
Mary Jane from Spider-Man?
With the boobs that I've seen a lot.
I don't think she was. I think that something came out, if I remember correctly. The reason why the actress had a little bit of change of face structure was because she was in an accident in between the first game and the second game. So then her scans changed a little bit.
Oh, so from the game.
Yeah.
I think
but then you have Black Cat in that game who's hot as fuck, right? So like,
yeah.
Forbidden West chick, you're talking about Alloy.
Yeah, Alloy.
So I'm still waiting on 5. I'll count Mary Jane. We'll count Mary Jane.
Okay. So you got 4 more to go. We're waiting.
The new Star Wars. All right, I'll give you that one, even though we talked about it. There's 2.
I think she's very Brooke Shieldsy, to be honest with you. I think she's really pretty.
I think she's cute. I don't think she's like overly gorgeous. Like, I don't think you have to be.
No.
But I don't think she's overly gorgeous. I was worried about the mullet. I saw. We inspected. Everything is okay. Everything is okay.
The mullet has been discussed. I just not making a difference. Not gonna.
Wait, who? Tanya? You think Tanya's okay? I could give you Tanya, but then you've got Katana, Melina, Natara, Sonya, who looks like a whole ass snack. So I mean, that's a 4-to-1 ratio there. Lee May.
There's so much to all of these games. Like, they are essentially fantasy games or games in other worlds or apocalyptic games. Like, you just can't expect these types of games to put out, you know, a jiggly, bouncy chick. Like, even changing her face. What do you want, the glamour filter from TikTok on all of their faces to make them look, you know, they all always have a smoky eye? Like, it's just freaking unrealistic. Like, games
absolutely
in a realistic way.
And that's not saying all games have to be realistic, because I like, you know, over the top. Also, we've got it literally in that game. I also forgot about Sindel. Sindel is the prettiest she's ever been.
I love Sindel. God, she's gorgeous in MK1.
Oh my God. And stop it. This is not even a real thing. This is not. Harley is the prettiest she has ever been in Suicide Squad. What?
My favorite Harley is Gotham Knights Harley.
But I get that because that's you. But
I love her in Suicide Squad. Every time, I love playing with her. Every time I'm like going through the loadouts and stuff, like, I can't find. The only one that sucks is like when her hair is shaved. It's like the side.
Oh yeah.
I made a really funny like Ronald McDonald character with her, but no, I love her look in Suicide Squad.
Where was that? Okay, wait, hold on. I thought I saw it. The next Lara Croft. You haven't even seen gameplay. All you've seen is concept art for a thing, so that doesn't count either.
They've been making Lara Croft look more normal in the last few games, so that's not even a thing. They like that. What was it when they came back with Tomb Raider? She was like not flat chested, but not pyramid boobs, and
well, that was only for one game, right? That she was like that?
4 games. I think 1 or 2. But she was always chesty. And the game that they came out and people were in such an outrage about her not looking like Lara Croft was such a ridiculously popular game. People loved it. Loved it. So
that's wild to me. This is the Lara Croft they're talking about now. Hold on, let me show you. What?
They're like
this isn't even
making her look like this. I think she's freaking beautiful.
And this is like obviously not shot from the game. This is obviously like some sort of digital artwork, maybe.
Like fan art, maybe.
No, I think it's an official picture, but you can tell it's not like from the video game. It wasn't a screenshot in. So we haven't even seen the first. I think she looks fine, but I'm not.
I'd like her to turn around. Actually,
Like I like it. I don't. She's got nice long hair. She looks like Laura to me. She's got her strap. Like okay,
I think she looks great.
all right.
Where
Where are her tits?
right
Of
there.
course,
Right
race.
there. Those are some nice boobs.
That's like a solid C cup.
Like, I understand people like big boobs. Like, I get that. But, you know, a small set of perky boobs is just fine. Like, are you gonna turn down small boobs? Really? Somebody
Those aren't
comes up to you
small.
and-
Those are like a solid C.
yeah,
And she's Laura fucking Croft.
exactly.
Like, unless she got a
athletic.
hit
She's
job,
not
she's
gonna-
not make them bigger. Oh my god.
Imagine her like jumping around with like triple D's. Like, no, just no.
They would get in the way. She would have a backache, and she would. Yeah. Oh my god. Like, can you imagine like just putting your arm out to shoot if you had big boobs? Like, no.
Not to mention, no matter what their complaints are, they're gonna get the game and they're gonna figure it out
yes.
to make it the way they want. So just stop complaining, guys. Be real. You're gonna do what you want regardless.
And they're gonna likely stream it. They're gonna likely review it. Like, oh my god.
All of it. It's just it's ridiculous.
I think this would be the best crossover to date. Like, can you imagine? You'd have the map and the guns.
That would be really cool, having like a almost Indiana Jones-esque feel where Laura Croft is there and Dora is like her, second, her right-hand person. That would be really cool.
They'd be going up and they'd be like, no, I think that's Swiper.
She like meets her in the woods and she's like, oh no, we're lost. We need the map.
Oh my god, that would be incredible. Swiper comes out, Laura just shoots him. That's pretty fucking easy. Pretty fucking easy answer to that.
I was just gonna say that. Nice. Even the map comes out and she shoots it.
Oh my god. Best crossover. And I like that would be so funny. They reduced her breasts since the second game. That's what I thought. I said I thought it was only in the first game, but I couldn't remember. I don't get it. Like, I get you want double, like, okay, so there are some gimmicky ones, right? Like, what is it, Dead or Alive? The fighting game? That's like their thing, right?
With their
so there is
physics. Like actual boob physics.
Yeah. So the games are there. Gary still has yet to name like any real examples that I didn't give. Mary Jane, I think, was his only one I didn't give.
Yeah. I understand Tanya to a degree because
I do.
That is the game. It's a lot of it felt rushed and
yeah, I agree. And you know what? The thing is with Tanya, it was such a drastic change as compared to some of the others. People were a little taken back by it, which I understood. I don't think she's pretty. She's okay. But she's also like Umgadi, which is like your Amazon. You don't need that beauty where you've got your queen who's gorgeous and your princesses who are gorgeous, Katana and Melina. So I don't know. That's because I was talking to other people. Gary, the Fable chick. We've already said the Fable chick was done on purpose because that's Fable's thing.
Yeah. Fable never had so when you play 1, 2, and 3, and I'll use 2 more for an example. You can. I don't know what they're doing in this one. I think you're just gonna play with her. That sounded dirty, but the ones that I loved, you could pick a male or female character, and the male character as he grows up, he's you know a warrior, so it's like he's got those big broad shoulders and this and that and all this other stuff. So does the female. When you're walking through the game and you're a female character, you tower over everybody, and you're not like super gorgeous, like you can do scars and you can make your skin different and all that other stuff, but like you tower over people. And I never heard somebody be like, "Oh my God, she's a man." Like,
Right, because that just wasn't. I feel like this outrage definitely censors people,
mm,
and they where people have to worry about that outrage now with a game like Fable. When 1, 2, and 3 came out, they didn't.
yeah.
Ooh, actually, I will give Gary this, even though it was Michael's. I think that's a good example.
Okay.
I love Poison Ivy and Suicide Squad, but they definitely changed her character completely.
Yep. Michael,
Yep.
you have a point there, definitely.
Yes, definitely. And I do. I like her. She was cute in the story. She serves a purpose. But that is a good example. I like it. All right, guys, we are going to wrap up. Gary, I'm still waiting. You gotta comment down below and tell me your 5, and we'll talk about it. Because I think
Share the
I could
video
name,
too if you're outraged.
and I think we could name like 500 that are good looking in replacement, but it's cool because beauty comes in all forms and it's subjective anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's pretty much
It always will be. And I've played games with beautiful women who don't have to have triple D's. Like, I love Dynasty Warrior. You have all sorts of you know what? I should look up like images for them and show you, because you have all sorts of people in that game, and they all look different, and it's a beloved game.
Ooh, mullets are not awesome. Awesome, Todd. That's mullets. Oh my God. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap up. Thank you so much. We will see you guys next time. Bye.
I thank you.
It's fucking Black Phoenix. I'm gonna go look at porn later, guys.